ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We are meeting here in week of Chaitra Navratri. Many of us celebrate as a new year. So Happy New Year to all of you. And we are starting with Aitareya Upanishad today. So Aitareya Upanishad, very interesting name. It is attributed to Rishi Mahidas Aitareya. So Mahidas, he was a Rishi Putra, but he adopted his mother's name. So Itara was his mother. So he adopted the name as Mahidasa Aitareya, son of Itara. And he is attributed to Aranyakand of Rigveda, and Aitareya Upanishad is part of that. His life, there is nothing much written about it, but at least Bruhadaranyaka Upanishad, it talks about Mahidasa, who lived for 116 years. And interestingly, he did Brahmacharya ashram, study and all that for first 24 years of his life. Then next 44 years he spent as householder. He had family and he just enjoyed household life of those times. Even his name, Mahidasa, usually Dasa meaning people who used to work as Brahmana or Acharya, they used to adopt Sharma. Kshatriyas, they used to adopt the name with suffix Varma. Similarly, the business, agriculture, those type of people would take Gupta as the suffix. And people who would serve others would take suffix as Dasa. So even though he was a Rishiputra, he might have adopted a lifestyle of being a servant to some capacity, and that's why his name is Mahidasa. But later, last 48 years of his life, he spent in forest, Aranya. So that's why this Aranyaka is his one of the attributes or his contribution. And during his last 48 years of life, he devoted completely to the Brahma Vidya. And this Upanishad, it talks about creation. Unlike any other Upanishads we went through, this is purely attributed to creation, how this world came into existence and different steps. Even a Rishi like him, or those times we think about, whatever he has written, we can see many parallels in today's science, whatever our science has found in contemporary time. The description matches quite well. So we'll go through that. Some people say that this Upanishad is likely composed 5th, 6th century BC, but that's Bhagwan Buddha, Gautama Buddha's time. So it's not, they always jumbled up the timing for all the Upanishads and Vedas and all that. Yesterday I was reading an article. Very recently they found a place called Kunal in Haryana. They found not only just stones or things made up of stones, they found things made up of gold, silver, copper. And well established cities, just like Indus Saraswati civilization that we always studied through schools. And we date that period to be 3500 to 4000 years ago. But this site, which had the ornaments of gold, silver, copper utensils, and of course terracotta pots and all that, and they had highly sophisticated drainage system. Similarly, what we found in Saraswati civilization, everything was excavated like that. When they did carbon dating on all those ornaments items, it was 7700 years old. So that means the whole history book everywhere in the world has to be rewritten. Civilization, well flourished civilization, 7700 years ago, meaning Sri Ramchandraji's time, that was found. And that validates whatever we always keep saying. For us, this new age started some 12 or 14,000 years ago with Vaivasvat Manu and Mata Shatrupa, Rishabdev, Ikshvaku Vansh, and all that. So we know all these lineages and how the timing works. Even astroarchaeology, they noted down celestial events, and with modern softwares, we can find those times as well. So this is definitely not 5th, 6th century BC. It's probably 9-10,000 year old. So whatever West wants to say, we'll maintain that this is much older. And as I said, Mahidas Aitareya is the composer. It is from Aitareya Aranyaka, and there are 3 chapters, mainly Brahma Vidya, Srushti Rachna, Lokpal, Devas, and how Devas dwell, where they live, how they live, and how they enter into life, meaning the whole process of creation that is mentioned in this Upanishad. All the Upanishads start with Shanti Mantra, so this is no exception. Shanti Mantra here is Om Vang Me Manasi Pratisthita Mano Me Vachi Pratisthita Aviravirma Edi Vedasya Ma Anisthaha Shrutam Me Ma Prahasira Nenadi Tena Horatran Sandadha Mrutyam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tan Mamavatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu Avatu Mamavatu Vaktaram Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Meaning of this is Om, may my mind be established in my speech. May my speech be established in my mind. May wisdom manifest and grow here in me. Like a hammered nail, may the Vedas be firmly established in me. May what I have heard never be taken lightly, but as something to be deeply studied day and night. I say what is righteous. I say the truth. May that Brahman protect me. May that protect anyone who says this. May that protect me. May that protect the speaker. May that protect the speaker. Peace. When we talk, meaning our speech, is it really coming with awareness, meaning our mind is tied with the speech, or we just utter words without even thinking? Rishi says, may my mind be established in speech. Whatever I say, I am aware what I am saying. Similarly, whatever my speech is, go back to the mind, meaning they both are integral part of each other. Meaning be aware of what is said. And whatever I say here, people don't take it lightly. They just keep studying day and night about this. That means probably Mahidasa Aitareya, the Rishi, wants to say that the knowledge I am going to say or tell you is not a simple knowledge. So listen carefully, and may Brahma stay in that, establish in that, whoever the speaker is and whoever is listener. So first khanda, the creation of the elemental worlds, their guardians and humans. Atha Aitareyopanishadi Prathamadhyaye Prathama Khandaha. Om Atma Va Idameka Evagra आसीन नान्यत किंचन मिषत sa ikshata lokannu sruja iti. So in the first khand of first chapter of Aitareya Upanishad, Om, in the beginning there was only the self or Atman, indeed. Nothing else blinked. Self or the Atma contemplated thus, let the worlds be created. So in the beginning there was nothing else. No spanda, no sankalpa, no vikalpa, nothing was there. Only Atma. And Atma, it doesn't exist, it doesn't get destroyed. Meaning there was nothing in the beginning. And that nothing we cannot imagine. And that's why we call it Atma or Brahma. Both is the same. And then the first sankalpa occurred. Let the worlds be created. Lokannu sruja. So let the creation begin. That is the sankalp, first wave, first tarang. In second verse, sa imang lokana srujata ambho marichir marapo adobhyah parena divam द्योहो प्रतिष्ठा अंतरिक्षम मरीचयः पृथिवी मरोया अधस्तात आपः. So Atman thus created these worlds. Ambha meaning clouds, Marichi meaning light, Mara meaning earth, Apah meaning fluid. Ambha is that which is beyond heaven. Heaven is its support. Marichi is the sacred space between the heaven and the earth. Mara is the earth, and what lies deep underneath is Apaha. At very gross level, very physical level, imagine center of the galaxy, and from that to the earth. So it doesn't go in all the details, but whatever is mentioned here is, so there is Ambha, which is clouds. Now what clouds they are talking about? They are above the heavens. Heaven meaning our atmosphere, Dyoho, and beyond that Swar meaning up to the sun, whatever the solar system is. So beyond that there is a cloud. Now which cloud they are referring to? Couple of hints here. There are two modern theories. The sun, solar system are not limited to just the planets. It goes beyond, and they call it Oort cloud. That Oort cloud which encompasses this whole solar system, which is way beyond. And our spacecrafts like Voyager, they just reach, or they are reaching that space now. Heliosphere, yes, heliosphere. So they are reaching now. So they are talking about this cloud, the Ambha, or this cloud in the center of the galaxy, because that is also a cloud in the Sagittarius constellation. In Vedic tradition, it is between Vrishchika and Dhanu Rashi, or Mula Nakshatra, or Root Nakshatra. That is where the center of the galaxy is. So is it that cloud? Because it is also like a cloud, because all the stars, and it's like a hot soup kind of thing, which, I mean, all the stars are colliding each other. It's a very dense place, and there is a creation happening because of there is a black hole, a giant black hole in the center, and everything is kind of evolving. So if we look at it that way, this Ambha or cloud could be that, or could be the heliosphere, Oort cloud. But it has Marichi or light between the heaven and the earth. So heaven is supporting this cloud. So it could be the heliosphere they are talking about. For us, heaven is around or beyond the solar system, that space. So whatever they saw, that whole cloud is with light. There is a space between it which is filled with light, or marichi. And after that comes heaven, earth, and in the earth lies deep underneath is apaha, or fluid, which is magma or lava we call it, so which is part of the earth. So Rishi is talking about all these different stages or different parts of our greater solar system, probably. Now, if we look at galaxy and the center is cloudy because of there are a lot of stars colliding each other, the hydrogen cloud and all those things that are in the center, and it's very bright. And it is also fluid because there is a plasma type liquid. It's in that state. So that is kind of apaha. So there might be some places within that sphere or within that area which might be solid, like our planet. So that solid place could also very well be there, and Rishi might be referring to that, but we don't know what exactly it is.
So he would be referring, you think, for the galaxy, but not like anything related with Big Bang?
No, this is not about Big Bang, but this is how we see the sky or the space. I think he is dividing that. So still this world is created, meaning it is not the Big Bang, because Big Bang and that process is mentioned in Aitareya Upanishad and some other places like Narada Parivrajaka probably. So they talk about it in great detail, the process of Big Bang. But this looks more like how this world, meaning our galaxy and this solar system is created. So for us that is the creation. So in this context, the Atma or Brahma, it could very well be localized to the galaxy, our Milky Way galaxy. It could go beyond that, we don't know. But let's see if more things are talked about that. Because here the elemental worlds, guardians and humans, meaning it's localized concept, it's not beyond that. So third verse, sa ikshate me nu loka lokapalannu sruja iti so adbhya eva purusham samudyar murchayat, meaning then self or Atman contemplated, here are the worlds. Now let the Lokapalas of those worlds be created. Then from within the ocean or Apaha, he raised up and shaped it as Purusha, the cosmic person. So the world is created, meaning the formation of proper forms or proper celestial bodies, that is done. Now the galaxy is coming into existence. All the stars, it's not just hydrogen cloud, it's more than that. So now the lokas are created, and after that the Lokapalas, even though we don't believe, right? We don't see, we do not detect that there is a Lokapala existing anywhere. Even for Earth, we don't call Earth a living being. But we always maintained this, that there are always Lokpalas for every lokas. And the rishis who go into deep meditation, dhyana, samadhi state, they always encounter such beings. And we always start with Saptarshis. Saptarshis are the maintainer of this universe. From Saptarshis, there are different various devatas and various Lokpalas. They come into existence. And so after lokas are created, lokpalas are created, and it's coming from ocean, samudra. That means it is still referring to a plasmic fluid. It's still not beyond that. So from plasmic fluid which still existed along with the lokas, so from those plasmic fluid, lokpalas were created. This is very interesting. If lokas are created from the apa or fluid, lokpalas are also created from the same entity, same fluid. So both are living. Lokas and lokpalas, they are also living entities or conscious entities, we can say. And that is Virat Purush or Vairaj Purush. In Puranas, there are many stories. And so Pratham Purush or Virat Purush or Vairaj Purush, they all refer to the Lokpalas. In fourth verse, Tamabhya tapattasya bhitaptasya mukham nirabhityata yatha andam मुखाद्वाग वाचो अग्निर नासिके निरभित्येतम नासिकाभ्याम प्राणः. He, meaning self or Atma, performed tapa over that Purusha, and as a result of such intense tapa, a face, egg shaped, divided out. From the mouth came speech, and from speech came Agni. And then the nostrils were divided out, and from the nostrils came Prana. So this is the process of Prajapita Brahma, how he was come into existence, or Virat Purush or Vairaj Purush, the first Adhideva came into existence. So from that ocean, that plasmic fluid, the lump was created, and that lump, from that the shape of a face started appearing, and that face is egg shaped. That's how it is divided. So from Vishnu Nabhi or the center, it started appearing as a Purush in that shape, and from that Purusha's mouth came the speech, meaning sound. First sound was created. So that is not the Big Bang I'm thinking, because this is more of a localized formation of the Milky Way and our Prajapita Brahma. So that bang, not the original Big Bang, but this is the sound that was created from that Purusha. And the first sound is Omkar always. And after the sound, Agni came into existence. From the sound, light. So sound is lower frequency and light is higher frequency. So when lower frequency sound is created, when it becomes intense, from that the Agni or light is created. And in that phase, two nostrils are divided. That means now it's the time to create prana. So from Brahma or Prathama Purush, now the prana, the life breath started, and that is the source of all the lives.
So here when you say Brahma, it's the he who meditated here is Brahma. Is it all the egg-shaped face?
Yes, this is the Pratham Purush or Prajapita.
So from the fluid there was Brahma or Prajapati.
From the fluid, first the lokas, all the planets and that system, and then Pratham Purush, Vairaj Purush, call it Virat Purush, call it Prajapita, call it Brahma. So that came into existence. And earlier it was like a egg shaped, like a lump, and from that lump the face started appearing. From face, once it started appearing, the sound created.
So in this verse they said he, because of his intense meditation, a face came. Who's he?
Not meditation, but the word here is tapa, tap.
Tapa.
So the original Atman, the source of everything, or Brahma, that did tapa. Tapa meaning warming up, heating, or some process. Whenever uh, if we look at an ironsmith gets the lump of liquid iron, then it starts shaping it, like, right, hammering, and the shape starts appearing. So that process is tapa. If you look at goldsmith, also gets the same lump of liquid gold, and then starts creating shape out of it by hammering, nailing, whatever the process. That process is tapa. So Atman or Brahman, the original self, started doing this tapa, and that's how this Purusha comes into existence and takes the shape. So from Sankalpa, the Lokas and Lokpala, the first one, is created with the Sankalp, but it did not get any shape. So get the shape, Atman had to perform some tapa, some process, and that's how this everything started taking shape.
Well, minor digression, maybe repetition, but you mentioned Brahman here, right? Atman, Brahman.
Right.
So, difference between Brahman and Parabrahman here is?
What is, everything is same, right? Imagine there is a pot. A pot is dropped in ocean, the ocean of Brahma. It's still same water within the pot, but now there is a pot. What is within is Brahma, what is outside is Parabrahma. And that Brahma, all the tiny particles, for all practical purposes, is still the same Parabrahma, it's still the same Atman. But for division purpose, Parabrahma, Brahma and Atman, three different divisions. But they are interchangeably used at multiple places.
And the Brahman that meditated or did tapa here,
right,
is a separate entity than Parabrahman for this
purpose.
For this purpose.
For the creation, that localized entity, that is referred here as Atman, but it's still the same. And still, it's the source of the local creation. But even that Atman is part of the greater system, that is Parabrahma.
So why do we think it's not Parabrahman here and a local entity?
That's why I said that at multiple places they interchangeably use these words. Sometimes they use Parabrahma explaining same thing. They use Brahma explaining the same thing. Atman, same thing. But the small distinction, it is beautifully mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. If we refer to Bhagavad Gita, it gives the hints. Who is Adhideva, who is Adhibhautika, who is Adhyatma. So all these things are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So if we refer to that, then we know that this distinction is because of such steps or compartments.
And the analogy for Brahma, like the
Pratham Purush.
No, like the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara.
Right,
That Brahma analogy. Is there an analogy for any of these entities?
So all three are the same, essentially the same thing.
Creator.
They are the Pratham Purush, right? If you look at Purana, if you look at Bhagavad Puran, then Narayan is chief or Mukhya or Sri Krishna. If you look at Linga Purana, in the beginning it was all Brahma, Prajapati Brahma. Later part, the same Linga Puran talks about Shiva. Shiva is everything. If you look at Devi Bhagavad, it's Adi Shakti, who is everything. So it's one in the same, but we created this division that, okay, the creation is Brahma and sustainer is Vishnu and destroyer is Shiva. But Shiva does creation also, Shiva does sustainer also, Adi Shakti does all the things. So all these attributes, it's just the play of the mind. Because of our limitations, we just create these different names and different forms. If we refer to Brahma, he was said to have 5 heads, right? And one was removed by Shiva. So there are different stories so that we can remember all these facts. But basically, if you look at our galaxy, it has 5 arms and one is broken. So aren't they 5 faces of Brahma? And aren't one face broken? So there is a story which has this truth, but mentioned differently. So the stories refer to what the science knows today, but in a different format, different metaphor. So similarly, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they are the same, Vairaj Purush or Virat Purush. But when that Virat Purush creates something, is Brahma. When sustains everything, is Vishnu and destroys Shiva. If we look at the atomic level, there are 4 fundamental forces. It's the same atom, but atom has 4 different forces. There is electromagnetic force, right? Because of that, everything is sustained. There is gravity, gravitational force. The big bodies are kind of sustained. So that is Vishnu, but it still comes from the same atom. If you look at weak force is all the X-rays and gamma rays and all the killer rays. That means it's Shiva. And the strong force, which binds the nucleus, because there are different subatomic particles. To form an atom, there has to be a strong force. So that is like a creation or Brahma. But it's still the same atom, and it's the same attribute of the same atom. But we just, for practical purposes, divided into 4 divisions, and we call them 4 fundamental forces. Similarly, it's the same Virat Purush or Vairaj Purush or Prajapita, still comes from the same Atman or Brahma or Prabrahma, but we created these separate divisions, give them different names. So,
One more doubt here.
yes,
So the lokas are created out of apa, right?
Apaha, right, fluid.
But earth is always existing. Like there is a mention of
The Mara,
Amba, Marichi, Mara.
right,
You said
right,
that in the beginning.
right.
So earth is always existing. Is it not part of creation when the lokas are forming?
So what they are referring here is Prithvi, meaning not the planet Earth or not the stars, but the heavy elements. Take it that way, which are the building blocks of this Earth or the stars and all the solid things in the world.
Okay.
So they are referred as, if you look at Panch Mahabhuta, right? Panch Mahabhuta first is Prithvi. Prithvi does not mean that this earth is everywhere. So it's all, if you look at the elements table, the heavy elements, which are building blocks of the locus where somebody can stay or live.
Okay.
So it's that Mara.
Yeah, that
Right.
makes sense.
And Mara refers to something that can be destroyed. Right? So those particles or whatever the building blocks, they are eventually get destroyed. They can get destruction. Something that can be destroyed, that is Mara. So it can also refer to that. And basically, the out of 5 basic elements, Prithvi Tattva. So that's. Now the question is, in the last statement, they are talking about prana. From the nostrils, 2 nostrils were formed, and the prana started coming out of it. So what was that which created this something which gives life to everything? Because we always maintain in our shastras that because of prana there is life. If there is no prana, there is no life. Otherwise, it's all the mixture of the 5 basic elements. Actually, the elements are 8. 8 vasus. Vasu are always 8 in number. So those are basic elements. So what is prana? Is it something different which we don't know yet? Meaning we don't have a way to measure it. We can just feel it. We can just experience it. Previously we talked about prana tattva, having food with more prana tattva or less prana tattva. We right away feel that. So it's a matter of feeling what we feel. It comes at the physical level, but ultimately starts from something subtle, something sukshma. And so that prana, we can safely say that it is beyond our dimension or beyond our perception of the basic elements. It's a different entity. Now, why they are talking about phase? If you look at galaxy, we don't see any phase, right? We just see stars twinkling here and there. We look at Vishnu Nabhi, it's a shape of how Sheshashayi Vishnu sleeps, that it's like a bed, it looks like an oval shape. But beyond that, we don't see any face because we don't have that perception. I have heard from a Siddha who, actually there are many videos of his in YouTube. His name is Guru Pashupati. He is disciple of Shiva Goraksh Baba or Mahavatar Babaji. And he talked about this, that we always question that can these entities have any shape. He said, one night I was doing dhyana. I was looking for my Adi Shakti. I looked up and I see her form. It's still the same galaxy, but he could see the form, a form of Mahakali. So there is something which we do not understand yet. But Rishis, Siddhas, or people like them, they have access to this kind of information. They know from their personal experience. And that's how it is written here. So there is some truth which we have yet to discover.
Sorry again. So he saw the form of Adi Shakti, but
Right.
so these are not. So are these real? Like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, or all these other deities, are they real entities, or these are just metaphors to which we assign attributes of things that we cannot understand or imagine? So,
Right.
so is it like real entities, or is it some metaphor?
It's both. So if we look at a motorcycle or a car, let's take an example of a car. Does car have nostrils? Does car have face? Does car have ears or mouth? Not like us, but it has face. It has ears. It has mouth. It has nostrils also, right? Air going in, going out. So it has everything. Not in the same form that we want to see. So this metaphor is based on what we know, what we understand. But the format of it, if you look at or inspect physically, it is different. We cannot perceive it directly. So it's kind of both, we can say. If you look at a tiny virus in microscope, okay, can we say, does it have face? Does it have eyes, ears? But it exhibits that behavior. Right? So at some level, some unknown or something that we cannot understand, that level, it still applies. Fourth verse. Pranad vayu rakshini nirabhidhyeta makshibhyam चक्षुष आदित्य कर्णौ निरभिध्येतां कर्णाभ्यां श्रोतं श्रोतत् दिशस्त्वंग निरभिद्यत त्वचो लोमानि लोमभ्य ओषधि वनस्पतयो हृदयं निरभिद्यत हृदयान्मनो मनसश्चन्द्रमा नाभिर्निरभिद्यत नाभ्या अपानो अपान मृत्यु शिश्नं निरभिद्यत शिश्नाद्रेतो रेतस आपः. Meaning, from prana came vayu, wind. Then the eyes divided out. From eyes came sight. And from sight came Aditya, the sun. Then the ears divided out. from the ears came hearing, and from hearing came the four directions. Then the skin divided out, from skin came hair, from hair came divine healing, Aushadhi and Vanaspati. Then the heart divided out, from the heart came the mind, from the mind came Chandrama. Then the Nabhi or core divided out, from the Nabhi came Apana, the downward Vayu, and from Apana came Yama or Mrityu. Then the organ of procreation divided out. From that came semen. From semen came Apaha. So now everything started from Apaha, ending in Apaha. What was created from is also ending in. So from Prana came Vayu, because Prana is enveloped in air, enveloped in oxygen. So that envelope must be created from Prana. That's what the indication is. And from the eyes came sight, meaning ability to see. From that ability to see, sight, came sun. This is strange, isn't it? We say because of sun we have eyes, but here because there were eyes of Param Purush, that Prajapita or Vairat Purush, came the sun, mean the stars. And from the ears came the ability to hear, and from that came the directions. So the directions are formed because of that ability to hear. Otherwise we cannot distinguish between different directions. For us, because we know the sun and the moon, we know the direction. In modern times, the compass, the magnetic poles. But in space, how do we know the direction? And the direction comes from the hearing. In space we cannot hear, but this is hearing in a different sense. So whatever we hear creates the direction, meaning wherever we are navigating, that creates the direction. And from the skin is divided out. So what kind of skin they are talking about? The skin meaning something that can hold, that something can grow. And what they are thinking about it, all the hair or romas, they create Aushadhi and Vanaspati. So all the herbs, meaning Vanaspati is always one. What we call Vanaspati today is a different meaning in Vedas times. So only Soma is considered Vanaspati, and rest of the Vanaspatis that we know today, they are called Aushadhi or herb, meaning anything that grows on earth has medicinal property. But Vanaspati is only one, that is Soma, who is the Pati, meaning the owner of all the forests. So they came from the skin of Pratham Purush. Now what kind of skin they are talking about? Meaning a layer is formed now. If in the context of earth, the first crest is developed, and from that crest came the Vanaspati and Aushadhi. So this now can be applied locally to earth. In the galaxy, how can we think about it? So we don't know that there are plants or other life forms in galaxy anywhere else. We don't have means to do that or means to know that. But we can safely say that Rishis who have access to this knowledge in their dhyana probably saw that. And that's why he is mentioning this. And that Purush also had heart. Once the heart is divided, it becomes mind, meaning the heart is the source and mind is the recipient or the receiver. And because there is mind or man, the man creates Chandrama. So we always link Chandrama or actions of Chandrama or mental activities to Chandrama. because of the phases or the kala of Chandrama, we have different effect on our body. And that's why many people observe Ekadashi and many vratas like that. So there is some truth into that. So from navel or core or the Nabhi came Apana. Because there is Nabhi, the downward motion of Vayu, which we call Apana Vayu, that handles all the excretion and all the leftover items in our body after digestion, that is taken out by Apana Vayu. And because of that, Lord of Death, Yama, is born. This is very interesting. Because of Apana Vayu, we have death, is what is said here. So whenever we leave body, majority of us leave the body through downward motion. But few who have done sadhana, they leave body on upper parts. And depending upon where they leave the body is based on their intensity of sadhana. It also decides where they are going and how they come back. So all these things are kind of interrelated. So Yamraj is also one of the Lokpalas. Not Lokpalas, but Dikpalas. He is also Lokpala, he is also Dikpala. So he is a Lokpala of Mrityu Loka, Yamraj. And he is also a Dikpal. South direction is attributed to Yamraj. And the organ of procreation comes the semen, Virya, and from that Apaha again. So everything started from that fluid, Apaha, and again is divided into individual soul, individual body. So this is how the creation in nutshell, they are Lokpalas. So Chandrama, Surya, Yamraj, Vayudev, Prana, Vanaspati, all these are various Lokpalas. So various entities, they control certain elements. And this is Prathama Khanda. I think we can stop here. The Pratham Khanda is complete. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.